Right now, U.S. debt has climbed to more than 100% of GDP. That means the government owes more than the entire economy produces in a year. The last time America carried debt this heavy was just after World War II, but back then, the U.S. had booming growth and a young population to help pay it down. Today, growth is slower, demographics are older, and deficits are piling up. The bigger the debt, the more it limits the Fed's choices. Because when debt gets this big, the Fed doesn't really call the shots anymore. Debt does. Economists call this problem fiscal dominance. It's what happens when government debt gets so high that it quietly controls central bank policy. Think about it. If the Fed raises interest rates too much, the government's borrowing costs explode. Every new bond it issues comes with a bigger interest bill. So instead of acting freely, the Fed faces pressure to keep rates lower than it otherwise would, just to make the debt manageable. It's like maxing out your credit cards and then telling your boss you need fewer hours at work. The math doesn't add up, and eventually, the lender starts calling the shots. We've seen fiscal dominance before. After World War II, U.S. debt was sky high, so the Fed capped bond yields to keep borrowing costs down. It worked short term, but inflation took off until the Fed broke free in 1951. In the 1970s, Nixon leaned on Fed Chair Arthur Burns to keep money loose even as debt and deficits grew. The result? Stagflation, weak growth, and runaway prices. More recently, the Eurozone debt crisis showed how markets punish unsustainable debt. Greece and Italy lost control of borrowing costs, and their central banks couldn't shield them. The lesson is clear. When debt dominates, central banks lose credibility, and credibility is everything. Today, the Fed faces a pressure cooker. U.S. debt to GDP is above 100%, and trillion-dollar deficits keep piling up year after year. Add Trump's new tariffs and higher spending, and the strain only grows. The more the government borrows, the harder it is for the Fed to raise rates without sending interest costs through the roof. And the pressure isn't just economic, it's political. Trump's firing of Fed Governor Lisa Cook shows how easily the White House can reach inside the central bank. Fiscal stress and political interference are converging, and both are chipping away at the Fed's independence. So why should you care about fiscal dominance? Because if the Fed loses independence, you'll feel it. Inflation stays higher, interest rates stay volatile, and everyday costs climb. Mortgages, car loans, even credit cards all get more expensive for longer. When central banks lose credibility, households pay the price. The question isn't if fiscal dominance shapes the Fed, it's how much it will cost you when it does. I'm the Uneducated Economist. Thanks for watching.